Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers official 2021 practice squad. If you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button if you do enjoy these types of videos, and leave your thoughts about the Buccaneers practice squad down in the comment section down below. I do want to say, as of the recording of this video, that being 3:17 p.m. EST, there's still 3 spots that are open on the Buccaneers practice squad currently, but we do have 13 out of the 16 players that the Buccaneers will at least initially carry on their practice squad. When the other 3 are assigned, I will go ahead and talk about those either in a community post or in a future video. But let's go ahead and get started with a couple of defensive linemen. You have Kobe Smith, defensive lineman, and Benning Pote, defensive lineman, who are 2 signings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice squad. Both of these guys had time with the Buccaneers throughout the entirety of the offseason and throughout the preseason as well. They were a part of the final cuts for the Buccaneers to get down to 53 players on their own rosters. So it does make sense. These guys have been in the system. They know what Todd Bowles expects from defensive linemen in the system at this point. They've been here the entire way already, so might as well bring them back to the practice squad and continue to grow and develop both of these guys. In the case of Benning Pote, this one I think was expected for a handful of people. In the case of Kobe Smith, not so much, but the coaching staff does obviously like what they've seen from him, and hopefully both these guys can continue to grow, develop in terms of being rotational defensive linemen. Moving to the offensive side of the football, you have Cody McElroy, who has been brought back on the practice squad. This is one that a lot of people expected. Again, he was here the entire process. Him, Jarrell Adams, Tanner Hudson, they were all battling for a 4th tight end spot that ended up not coming to be because the Buccaneers did not carry 4 tight ends on their initial 53-man roster, but the Buccaneers like what they've seen from him, both as a blocker and a little bit of a receiver as well. He will continue to learn to play in the NFL. He's still an extremely raw type of player, and overall the Buccaneers coaching staff is confident that they can continue to mold him into an overall very balanced tight end. But a newcomer to the practice squad is Deon Yelder, who is actually coming over from the Tennessee Titans technically, right? He has spent time with the New Orleans Saints in 2018. He spent time with the Kansas City Chiefs from 2018 through to 2020. He then spent time with the Washington football team and the Tennessee Titans this offseason in 2021. So he's been to a handful of teams now. His overall career statistics are 10 receptions for 86 yards as of last season, but he does have some playing experience. 6'4", 255 pounds. He was undrafted in 2018, but he was there for the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl win, so he knows what it's like to win a Super Bowl. Hey, that's important. That's a cool thing in my opinion. So big physical tight end, a guy who the Buccaneers will continue to work with. Overall, I know what some people are going to say is, why not Jarrell Adams or why not Tanner Hudson? Well, in the case of Jarrell Adams, he may very well end up on another practice squad. In the case of Tanner Hudson, if you guys haven't seen on the community post, he is already gone. He is already signed with the San Francisco 49ers practice squad, so he wasn't really an option. So I like this guy. I like Deon Yelder here, big physical tight end that I think can offer a lot somewhere down the line if the Buccaneers were needed to eventually call him up. So overall, I'm very happy with the Buccaneers having both tight ends here that they can continue to grow and develop. In the wide receiver room, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are actually carrying 3 wide receivers, and they are Travis Johnson, Cyril Grayson, and Jaydon Mickens. Let's first start off by talking about Travis Johnson and Cyril Grayson. Both these guys, young developmental wide receivers. Travis Johnson, he's more of a balanced, well-rounded wide receiver who can do a lot with catching, route running, some decent speed, all these other different types of things. Jason Light was a big fan of Travis Johnson throughout the offseason process, and now he's going to continue to get more work in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cyril Grayson, he's been on and off with the team for a couple of years now. He's got some good speed, but there are definitely more sections of his game that need to be polished. And then Jaydon Mickens. This one was surprising. I did not expect Jaydon Mickens to end up on the practice squad. I thought for sure another team was going to add him to their 53-man roster or their practice squad, something along those lines, but Jaydon Mickens, he made it through. He's back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the practice squad. That is huge. That is absolutely huge in my opinion. I mean, he may be one of the top guys on the practice squad right now. I really do think it matters that much. He's a great backup wide receiver. He has been a solid enough return man for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they can call him up, I think, with relative ease in case Jalen Darden isn't getting the job done as a returner, if they need another wide receiver in the case of injury, knock on wood for that, or any other circumstances. They have Jaydon Mickens in their back pocket now, at least for the time being. So that one is huge. Moving back to the defensive side of the football, this one is a returning name who had actually left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this offseason, but he is now back. It is Andrew Adams. Oh my gosh, I love this practice squad signing. This is up there for one of my favorites. Andrew Adams had left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this offseason. He had joined, I believe it was the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a part of their final roster cuts for them getting down to the 53-man roster, and now Adams returns to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do very well think that he could eventually end up back on the 53-man roster for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at some point getting called up. He was already a Super Bowl champion with the Buccaneers last year, and now he is back for another run. Very excited about this. It continues the saga of Andrew Adams. He has been on and off with the team for a handful of years now. I believe this might be his third or fourth year. So really pumped up about that one. I'm excited to have Adams back into the fold, and hopefully he can stick on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and they can call him up if needed. Back to the offensive side of the football now, you have a couple of offensive linemen in the form of Brandon Walton and Jonathan Hubbard. We talked about Brandon Walton, and the chances of him coming back on the practice squad were pretty high. He was already in the system with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a added camp body due to injuries and whatnot. They're going to continue to grow and develop him. Jonathan Hubbard is a little bit of a surprise in my opinion. He was another one of those guys where you just kind of thought like, okay, he's just here because of injuries and that is what it is. But the Buccaneers liked what they saw from him in, the short time that they had him with the team, and now he's brought back. And I think that that is important given that right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't have a dedicated backup right tackle with the release of Brad Seaton, and then you never know what's going to happen with offensive linemen injuries. Versatility is very important, and I think both Walton and Hubbard can offer that versatility to play tackle if they need to play guard, whatever it may be. I think both those guys can handle that. And then quarterback Ryan Griffin has returned. He was another guy who I honestly was surprised to see make it back onto the Buccaneers practice squad, because I thought another team was going to sign him to their practice squad or sign them to an active roster, but neither one of those things happened. Griffin is back. I know that there are going to be a handful of people that are very excited about that, and I think it's a good thing. It offers a veteran quarterback who definitely knows Bruce Arians' offensive system in and out. I think it can do wonders for preparing guys during practice and whatnot, and again, I think that that is a very huge practice squad signing, in my opinion. Welcome back, Ryan Griffin. And then the last two guys that are on this practice squad right now, one is a face that we've seen before. The other one is a new face that we have not seen before. First off, Herb Miller, cornerback. He is here yet again with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was not able to beat out D. Delaney for that fifth cornerback spot. Chris Wilcox had lost out. Antonio Hamilton was released as well. I don't know where Antonio Hamilton ended up, but I do know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost Chris Wilcox to the Indianapolis Colts, who I believe ended up on their 53-man roster or practice squad. But Chris Wilcox is with the Colts now. Herb Miller is here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, Bruce Arians had talked about how he wasn't happy with the overall progression that Herb Miller has made, but now he's got that chance to continue to grow, continue to work as, maybe both an outside and an inside cornerback, and you could feel relatively confident that if there was a cornerback who needed to be called up, Herb Miller could do a very serviceable job. He had an interception in a regular season game last year, so overall, I think that that is some good depth to have there stashed away on the practice squad. And then finally, the new face, which I think is pretty interesting, is running back Darwin Thompson, who was a 6th round draft pick of the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019, 5'8", 200 pounds. He was again a Super Bowl champion with Dion Yelder, so both those guys have a Super Bowl level experience and, you know, just what it means to win a Super Bowl. Both these really young guys have that. Darwin Thompson is 24. Dion Yelder, by the way, is 26, but for his overall NFL career statistics so far up to this point, he has 225 rushing yards, good for a 3.5 yards per carry, 2 rushing touchdowns, 16 receptions, 108 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. And this is going to be an interesting thing to monitor, right? And I'm not going to say that, you know, Keshawn Vaughn's automatically done because Darwin Thompson's here. No, I'm not saying that at all, but Darwin Thompson has showcased not that he can be an efficient running back, both as a receiver and as a runner. He's also pretty good at special teams. He did that for a couple of years there with the Kansas City Chiefs, and overall, I think he did a pretty good job just based on the research that I was doing. So we'll see. Pay attention to Darwin Thompson. He might not even last on the Buccaneers practice squad. He may end up with another team's 53-man roster. Or, at some point, maybe the Buccaneers call him up and try and see what the dynamic running back, who can also provide on special teams, can do for them come game day. And maybe that results in getting rid of a guy like Keshawn Vaughn. I don't know, but we will just have to wait and see. But as I said, guys, there are 3 more spots for the Buccaneers practice squad that have not been filled yet. I talked about this. I imagine that one of them is probably going to go to Ladarius Hamilton. I think that that's almost a guarantee. I would say maybe one other spot goes to a backup middle linebacker, depending on what they want to do, and maybe you bring back Javon Hagan, something along those lines. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Once those final 3 spots are taken up, I will be making a video on that, just so I can keep you guys as up to date as possible. But that's pretty much it, guys. What do you think about this practice squad right now? 13 guys on there with 3 more guys on the way. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.